Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. We're talking about this today. Ketone IQ. Let's talk about it. Now, if you guys have ever done any sort of intermittent fasting, extended fasting, or even something like keto, you might have heard of ketones. If you've ever heard of the term keto flu or keto headache, it's a common thing that people run into when starting intermittent fasting, doing ketosis, or just starting out on a lower carbohydrate diet. What happens is that your body is transitioning from burning primarily carbohydrates and glucose as fuel to burning fat and ketones as brain fuel. When that transition happens, if you're not metabolically flexible, you often go through an energy dip that people call the ketone headache, the ketone flu, because you kind of feel sick because you're basically running out of gas. So you're running out of all your glycogen reserves in your body, but you're not refueling it with more carbohydrates, and your body hasn't learned to burn fat effectively yet. So when that happens, it's become popular to start supplementing with exogenous ketones. This can help you pick up the slack during that transition and can also help you just feel better and have a boost of energy throughout the day. Out of all the products on the market, I think Ketone IQ is probably considered generally across the board the leader in the ketone space, and they even run ketone.com. Most exogenous ketones that you're going to see come in a powder format that you're going to mix into a drink like a pre-workout. Ketone IQ is different because they're one of the first people to actually come out with a ketone that is in a ready-to-drink format. So instead of having to prep everything yourself, you can just grab one of these, take a shot, and then get on with your life. Ketone IQ actually comes in two different formats. Let's take a look. This is the main box that Ketone IQ has traditionally come in. Inside, you're going to find 3 large bottles of ketones. So Ketone IQ has traditionally come in something that looks like this. This has 10 servings in it. Each serving is 1.2 fluid ounces, and this is 12 ounces in a bottle. They sell these for $120, which is 30 servings, and it comes in 3 bottles, 10 servings apiece. These actually used to come with a little shot glass thing on the top. Doesn't really happen anymore, but they do mark out each of the lines for each of the servings on the bottle. So even if you're not taking shots of it, you can just kind of eyeball it and get pretty close. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had this before, and it's never tasted good. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but it doesn't. I think for a long time, the unofficial motto was taste bad, works good, which I don't know if that's a great marketing manifesto, but it's stuck in my head. If I remember correctly, this tastes most similar to something like cough medicine. Not particularly pleasant, but it's also really not that bad. And especially you're only having 1.2 fluid ounces each shot. It's definitely not the worst shot I've ever taken. Plus, it's good for you. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. See what I did there? So like I said, there used to be a little shot glass. Now we're just going to eyeball this and take a swig. So I think my original opinion stands. That doesn't taste good at all, but it's not really meant to. If you're going through the keto flu or the keto headache, you're probably not caring a lot about having a really delicious, flavorful drink. This is meant to deliver ketones to your brain, and it does that pretty well. There's a lot worse shots out there that are a lot worse for your body. I don't think this really comes close in the grand scheme of things. Now, do I want to down an entire bottle of this in one go? No. But if I'm using this, I'm maxing out at probably 2 shots a day. So I'm probably good. Also, it's really expensive. So you don't want to be just chugging this anyways. You want to be using this strategically for when you need the extra boost of energy. Now, recently, Ketone IQ has come out with a mini shot style format. It's the exact same product, but it just comes in more convenient, ready-to-go shots. This is basically like a 5-hour energy shot, but just ketones. Let's check it out. So in each of these, there's 6 little mini shots that you can take. And each of these shots are actually 2 fluid ounces. So there's a little more fluid in here than something like the original ketones. The nutritionals on this are exactly the same, so I'm not quite sure what they did, but I think they probably just diluted it a little bit. It actually makes it a lot easier to stomach, but it is more liquid that you're going to have to take down with each shot. Like I said, normally I'm not just downing ketones after ketones unless I have a good reason for it. But today that reason's the video, so let's give it a shot. The things that I do for you guys. You're welcome. So opening this is actually pretty simple. Just rip off the top. Bottoms up. Yikes. That doesn't taste good either. My first thought on this is that it's only 0.8 fluid ounces more than the other shot, but it feels like a lot more. It's a little easier on the taste buds, but I think I almost rather prefer the concentrated ketones and have less of it and get it over quicker than taking something like this, which has more liquid in it. However, this is super convenient. And if you're doing a hike, an adventure, an outdoor activity, or even going to the gym, this is going to be a lot easier to take with you than something like the original ketone formula. Although it would be kind of funny to be running around the gym with this and just be taking a shot at odd times, then putting the cap back on and putting it back in your bag. That doesn't seem ideal, but if you want to go for it, be my guest. The times that I've used this the most have been when I've been keto, when I tested out the carnivore diet, and then in general when I'm doing longer fasts. If I'm feeling one of those energy dips come on, I'll usually take one of these, pair it with some Element electrolytes, and probably find some caffeine to power through. I think between all of that, there's 0 carbohydrates and minimal calories. So if you're fasting, it's a good clean way to stay on your fast without going crazy. Now, in one of these servings, there is 70 calories. So if you're trying to be calorically restrictive, you might want to take a mental note of that. But for most people, it's not going to be a big deal. There's no fat, no carbohydrates, no sugar, no protein, just 10 grams of ketones. One thing to know about the portable shots is that they come in a 24-pack for $120 and $108 respectively if you get it on subscription. That makes it a little pricier than the standalone ketones by about 6 servings. So if you want the convenience, this is what you're going to go for. If you want the best bang for your buck, relatively speaking, you're probably going to want just the bottles. So what do I actually think about Ketone IQ? I think this is a pretty niche product that does exactly what you want it to do if you're doing intermittent fasting, if you're a longtime keto dieter, a carnivore dieter, or someone that's generally metabolically flexible. If you're looking at exogenous ketones, I think they're easily the best player in the space, and I don't think it's particularly close. That said, there does seem to be a move by them to try to move into the general energy space, and I'm just not sure how well that's going to translate to the general public. I think if you're looking at Ketone IQ, you're probably self-experimenting more than the general population user. And you're also probably a little more metabolically flexible than the standard American. You might also have more money because at $120 for 24 of these, you're coming out to $5 a shot. That's pretty pricey for most people. And if you shop around, you can find 2 to 3 full-size energy drinks for $5. So while it's good, it adds up quick, and I would say it has a markedly different effect on you than something like an energy drink. When I use Ketone IQ, I'm typically using it for cognitive activities, so something where I'm writing, focusing, or trying to be creative. I haven't seen the benefits of this translate to physical activities and power output the way that I would see something like an energy drink or pre-workout do. That's not to say it can't, but that's been my personal experience. I think this really excels at appetite suppression, focus, and in general, helping you through those keto slumps or intermittent fasting lulls where you have a dip in energy. I tend to think where this is less effective is typically those physical activities where you need the power output, or general fatigue where you need to be alert and you probably want a shot of something with honestly more caffeine in it than Ketone IQ brings to the table. So where do I end up with this? I've got a bunch of Ketone IQ in the fridge. I use it sparingly and specifically when I'm doing cognitive activities that require an extra boost of focus. And then when I'm going to the gym or I need a little bit more energy, I usually just opt for a caffeinated beverage of sorts. But if you're looking for exogenous ketones and you want to make sure you have them in your arsenal, they're definitely worth checking out. I think it's super cool what they're doing across the space in general, and I actually really like that they're innovating with the different form functions of their product. If you guys do want to try Ketone IQ, I've got a link down below where you can save 30% off your first subscription, so you can test this out and try it for yourself without breaking the bank. If you guys are already using this or you're going to check it out, please let me know what you're using Ketone IQ for in the comments below. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope this was helpful, gave you some insight, and maybe even let you try a new product. If you guys like that video, please hit like, subscribe so you get every single video coming up. And until next time, keep pushing your limits, do something impossible, and I'll see you on the next video. Boom.